We might take a little drink. Hang on, everybody, hang on.
Everyone knows crab fishing is dangerous. But the thing nobody tells you is that the accidents on Deadliest Catch seem to follow a dark pattern. From the show's very first season, we saw entire crews vanish into the icy water. Since then, the disasters have grown more personal and, in some ways, even more tragic.
Storms go through, and they can destroy people, boats, and everything in its path.
We're investigating the show's most devastating moments, from catastrophic sinkings to the silent killers that follow the captains ashore to ask one terrifying question: is this job becoming impossible to survive? A 900-pound warning, Season 1. The Bering Sea is one of the most hostile work environments on the planet. For the men and women who fish for crab, every single moment is a battle against freezing temperatures, monster waves, and heavy machinery that can end a life in a split second. For nearly 2 decades, Deadliest Catch has brought us onto the decks of these boats, but the thing is, the danger isn't just for the crew. Believe it or not, one of the first and most terrifying warnings of just how wrong things can go didn't even happen to a fisherman. It happened to a cameraman. During the very first season, the show was still figuring out how to capture the chaos without getting in the way.
I'm going in the water. Boy, is that crazy, borderline dumb. For them, going in the water is something you avoid at all costs.
A production crew member, part of Tom Beer's inexperienced team, was on the deck of the FV Northwestern trying to get the perfect shot. What he didn't realize was that he was standing in the direct path of a 900-pound crab pot that was swinging wildly on the crane. It was a pendulum of solid steel, moving with enough force to crush anything or anyone it hit. Captain Sig Hansen saw it happen from the wheelhouse. With just seconds to spare, he grabbed the radio and screamed at the cameraman to move.
There's a lot of things cameras don't catch, and a lot of things that have happened in the past that, are kind of scary to think about. So I'm lucky to be here.
The pot swung by, missing him by inches. To put it mildly, it was a wake-up call. There were no injuries, but the incident sent a shockwave through the production. It was a stark reminder that in the Bering Sea, you don't have to be baiting a pot to be in mortal danger. Just standing on the deck is a life-and-death gamble. It exposed the raw, unpredictable nature of the job for everyone involved. A death by 1,000 cuts, mechanical failures, and gear breakage. What many people overlook is that the most common dangers on Deadliest Catch aren't always the spectacular headline-grabbing disasters. Often the threat is a constant grinding war against the boats themselves. Every single piece of equipment on these vessels is pushed to its absolute breaking point season after season, and when steel and hydraulics finally give out, the results can be just as devastating as any storm. This isn't a single event, it's a recurring nightmare that has been a part of the show since the very beginning. We've seen it happen countless times. A hydraulic line bursts, spraying superheated fluid across the deck and trapping a deckhand's leg in a piece of machinery. A block and tackle system holding thousands of pounds of tension suddenly shatters, sending shrapnel flying like a grenade. Or in one of the most common and terrifying scenarios, a rope or wire under extreme strain snaps. The recoil from a snapped line is so fast and so violent it can break bones, sever limbs, or throw a person overboard before anyone even has time to react. These aren't just minor setbacks, they are life-altering injuries waiting to happen. In Season 2, on the episode Taking Back the Wheel, we saw lines snapping on multiple boats. A stark reminder of how widespread the problem is. And in Season 8, viewers watched in horror as Jake Anderson got his hand crushed by a piece of equipment, an injury that could have easily ended his career.
Where's Jake?
Okay.
Right here.
Just
get him in.
The thing is, these mechanical failures often lead to even bigger problems. In Season 3, the sinking of the FV Ocean Challenger was directly linked to a catastrophic hydraulic failure during a storm, which led to flooding the boat couldn't overcome. The crew is constantly welding, patching, and praying that their gear holds together for one more run. It's a relentless, exhausting battle where a single broken part can be the difference between a big payday and a watery grave. Escalation note: when failing machines meet the full fury of the weather, the stakes get infinitely higher. Rogue waves and ghost ice. Severe weather and storms. If the failing machinery is a constant threat, the weather in the Bering Sea is the final boss. It's the single most powerful and unpredictable enemy the fleet faces every single year, and it has been the driving force behind some of the most harrowing moments in the show's history. The danger comes in many forms, each one more terrifying than the last.
If you get anything done when you're working in a storm, you're ahead of the fleet because most guys either jog or anchor out.
The Arctic storm, nothing good about it.
First, there are the storms. These aren't just heavy winds and rain, they are Arctic hurricanes that can whip up 30 and 40-foot waves. These aren't the rolling waves you see at the beach. They are vertical walls of water that can crash down on a boat's deck with enough force to bend steel and wash away anything that isn't bolted down. In Season 7, the crew of the Time Bandit was hit by a massive rogue wave that slammed into the side of the boat, injuring several crew members and reminding everyone that no boat, no matter how big, is safe when the sea gets angry. Then there's the ice. In the dead of winter, freezing spray from the waves coats every surface of the boat, adding thousands of pounds of weight in a matter of hours. This ghost ice can make a vessel dangerously top-heavy. If the crew can't knock it off fast enough, the boat's center of gravity can shift so much that a single large wave can cause it to roll over and sink in minutes.
Okay, guys, we might take a little break. Hang on, everybody, hang on.
This exact scenario is what led to the tragic loss of the FV Destination, a chilling reminder of how quickly the ice can become a killer. The weather is the great equalizer. It doesn't care about experience, deadlines, or the price of crab. It has been the backdrop for nearly every major disaster in the show's history, from the storm that raged during the search for the Big Valley in Season 1 to the icing conditions that claimed the destination in Season 13. The captains can watch the forecast, but they can't control it. They are always just one storm, one rogue wave, or one cold snap away from a catastrophe they can't possibly fight. When the sea claims its own. While near misses and injuries are terrifying, the moments that have truly defined the dark reality of Deadliest Catch are the ones where the sea wins. The show has documented several catastrophic losses where entire vessels and their crews were taken by the waves, leaving behind only questions and heartbreak. The tragedy began in the show's very first season. In January of 2005, a deckhand named Manu Lagai Jr. on the FV Sultan was on deck and then he was gone. He slipped and fell overboard into the 29-degree water where survival is measured in minutes. He was never found. It was a brutal individual loss that highlighted the simplest and most terrifying risk of all, one wrong step. Just days after Manu Lagai Jr. disappeared, the FV Big Valley capsized and sank. The boat was dangerously overloaded with extra crab pots, and when it was hit by 20-foot seas, it simply couldn't recover. Of the 6 men on board, only one, Cash Seal, was found alive. 3 of his crewmates were never seen again. The show's cameras captured the frantic search efforts, and the dark, somber tone it set for the series has never really gone away. In October of 2006, the FV Ocean Challenger was lost, with 3 crew members presumed gone. What's so chilling about this incident is that there was no mayday call. A combination of hydraulic failure and a brutal storm caused the boat to flood and sink before the crew even had a chance to radio for help. The sea simply swallowed them whole. It served as a horrifying lesson in just how fast a situation can turn from bad to irreversible, a true ghost ship of the Bering Sea. Perhaps the most haunting loss in recent memory was the sinking of the FV Destination in February of 2017. The boat, a 98-foot vessel, vanished during the Opilio season.
The older I get, the more afraid I am of being out in the Bering Sea. Things do happen.
Watch out, watch out, watch out! Get down!
The Coast Guard search, captured through frantic radio calls on the show, revealed the awful truth. The boat had likely rolled over and sunk due to a massive buildup of ice combined with a heavy load of pots. This time, there were no survivors. All 6 crew members were lost, their vessel and their bodies never fully recovered from the deep. Off-deck tragedies. To put it mildly, the Bering Sea takes a toll that can't be washed off at the end of the season. For some of the most beloved figures on Deadliest Catch, the most dangerous battle wasn't against a storm or a broken machine, but against the silent killers that followed them home, the long-term effects on their health and well-being. The list of these off-boat tragedies is shockingly long and heartbreaking. In August of 2015, Captain Tony Lara, who had briefly taken the helm of the Cornelia Marie, passed away from a heart attack. Then in May of 2018, former FV Maverick Captain Blake Painter was found deceased in his home from an overdose. These losses highlight the underlying health issues, mental health struggles, and substance abuse problems that can arise from a life of chronic pain, trauma, and immense pressure. The most emotional and gut-wrenching example of this was the loss of Captain Phil Harris of the FV Cornelia Marie. For years, viewers watched the hard-living, chain-smoking captain battle the sea, but his real fight was with his own health. In February of 2010, while in port offloading crab, he suffered a massive stroke. The show's cameras were there, capturing the frantic moments after his collapse and his final days in the hospital. His passing was a profound blow to the show and its fans, a heartbreaking testament to how the relentless stress and brutal lifestyle of a crab captain can destroy the body from the inside out. It proved that the deadliest part of the catch isn't always the sea itself, but the slow cumulative damage the job inflicts on the human body and soul. Escalation. Note, the dangers of this job are undeniable, from the sea to the soul. But does watching it all on TV make it worse? The tragedies of Deadliest Catch are a brutal reminder of the true cost of the food on our plates. Has the show's success encouraged fishermen to take even greater risks? Let us know what you think. Like and subscribe for more.